Hello, all my amazing GovCon winners. Wow. Imagine this, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Dayton, Ohio, paying $400 an hour, taxpayer dollars, to a prostitute, to a sex worker for many years. One thing about government contracting is because there is this kind of power distance, right? Where you have, for instance, the Air Force, Wright-Patterson, as a client, you see them with power and authority because they're paying your bills in essence, right? And perhaps you go to them with questions, or if you're looking to hire, or maybe they become your friends, you go out, you drink, who knows? So in this situation that you may be thinking, what in the world is this woman talking about? This is real. This is not make-believe. And I'll make sure that the link is below so you can read the entire article. So a government contractor, Spectral Energies, went to this researcher and asked for a referral for an opening that he had. Why? Because his company had received tons of money from them over the past 17 years. So it makes sense because of power distance, authority. That researcher was seen as an authority figure. And you would think, oh, someone's a researcher, they have a PhD, they have this, they have that. Oh my gosh, they must be so prim and proper. Well, little did anybody know, this man loves some prostitutes, kept a spreadsheet and everything on him. So he then referred a woman that he recently met, lied about her background, and this individual with this company, multi-million-dollar company, hired her. Let's unpack that for a moment. One thing about government contracting is often, right? Even if it's someone who is a 1099, meaning they're not an employee, often you are bringing people onto your team, either as employees, full-time, part-time, or non-employees, 1099, a vendor. What's vital is this: that regardless of the type of position a person fills, you still must do your due diligence. If you are informed that this person went to med school, or you're informed that they graduated from the University of Tennessee, you should have a diploma, right? A transcript signed on the back, or email from a certain account from that school. It is vital you do your due diligence. If someone says, I'm bonded, oh, don't worry, we have insurance. Oh, yes, I have this certification as an executive coach. You must do your due diligence. So with this situation, imagine this. A few weeks into the job, the woman was messing up spreadsheets and the owner of the company was dumbfounded. Like, what is going on? I don't really understand this. So then he approached the researcher, who I guess felt compelled to just share all his sins. And he said, you know, she's really a prostitute. And I mean, this is blowing my mind. And this didn't happen 10 years ago. This happened around 2017. And unfortunately, the researcher who orchestrated all this passed in 2021. And so the business owner was kind of put in this conundrum, which gets to morals and values. Government contracting isn't just, I provide a product and service, the government pays me, call it a day. There's morals and values involved in this because we're talking about being entrepreneurs, my amazing GovCon winners. And I've had some sticky situations. There was a client where I found out about some ongoing sexual harassment. I had no idea it had been going on for over a year. I didn't know the extent of it. I didn't know about the use of alcohol, maybe even drugs. And so I took care of it. It was so heartbreaking to know and learn. And while this situation is completely different, there were similarities where there was power distance. The people involved at my client's site where my employee was, these were the people in charge. Thankfully, this agency acted and everything was taken care of. This situation at Wright-Patterson, going back to morals and values, that business owner, he talked to his attorney and the attorney said, well, let's wait a year before we act. I strongly disagree with that course of action, but I understand it because you, the business owner, you've received all this money from Wright-Patterson, so you also don't want to piss off someone who's involved in your funding. And that's why it's really important for you to be so aware of your morals and your values and to stick by them. Because this story is not the only example of things like this. There are many examples of fraud, waste, and abuse that are out there. So this gentleman decided to wait it off, this business owner. So apparently, 2 weeks before he was going to let her go, the researcher had her position, full-time equivalent position, transitioned to another company. ISSI is their acronym, because they were willing to play the game. Now, did they know that this woman was a woman of the night, apparently in day and morning? Probably not. I don't know. What I do know is this is very common in the sense of often a federal agency, especially when you have a relationship with them, they may ask you to bring someone on to join your team as a full-time equivalent, meaning they have Tommy, they want you to put into a research billet or an IT billet or an admin billet, but you have to bring on Tommy. We're going to pay you. You pay Tommy, this amount of money. Maybe they'll tell you, like in this situation when he said, hey, you're going to pay her $400 an hour, and then you're still making money off of it. Is very, very common. But again, even if a government agency is doing this with you, it's still important that you still check all their credentials, because you don't want to end up in this kind of situation. This is ridiculous. This is crazy. And on top of it, no charges were ever brought against the researcher before he passed. On the other side of this, there's also things that are called pass-through, where an agency like Wright-Patterson may say, hey, we have this subcontractor, we would love to add them to your contract. It would just make things so much easier. Can we do that? I'll make sure you get a profit. These type of conversations happen. I share all of this because what's vital is, regardless if you ask a trusted government person for a referral, whether they ask you to staff an FTE with someone that they refer to you, or they're asking you to pass someone through, you need to make sure you verify, you validate everything that you need to do, all kinds of information. Also, you have to really ponder your morals and values when it comes to this space, because there may be times when you're put in a predicament and you have to ask yourself, if this made CNN News, Fox News, Cheddar News, would you be okay with that? You have to ask yourself these things, because right now, this article is on the New York Post. I don't want my name on the New York Post or something like this. It's crazy. Worked way too hard, way too hard. And the same goes for all of you watching. You're amazing. You are like here because you want to get contracts, or maybe you have contracts. So my amazing GovCon winners, please, when it comes to this space of full-time equivalents and your relationship with government agencies, always think about your ethics and morals and ethics, and do your due diligence. Please, 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 please. In the meantime, hit that notification button, subscribe, comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this situation. This is crazy. This is really crazy. And I know my returning people, you're ready, right? For my new people, I close with, don't forget, but I'm not ready to close yet, because I'm going to open my enrollment very soon for my new course. So check out govconwinners.com, govconwinners.com. Don't forget, everything is possible.